Hi, Joel. Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. And before I get into the crux of this video, I have to answer a query that Joel posed in his last video. Is there still an underground in music? Before the digital age that we're currently living in now, if you wanted to find out about experimental, progressive, or obscure music, you might need to put in a bit more effort, like digging deeper into a crate at your local record store, or even going to your local record store. Read some books, pick up some magazines, maybe listen to a local community-run radio station, go to some shows. Now, most of these things can be achieved by merely engaging in a few clicks. Not only that, but independent musicians are no longer inhibited by a lot of the same limitations that they were back in the day either. Like, a lot of people can't hear our record because we can only afford to print 100 copies of it. However, when it comes to promoting your own music, there are still barriers between the artist and popularity. I mean, the music that they make could not really be vibing with people. There's still a lot of saturation and competition out there in the music world right now. You're also kind of dealing with the issue that a lot of people want to listen to sort of what's popular, what's hip, what's kind of catching on. In some ways, it's almost as if the underground is bigger than ever because you have tons and tons and tons of artists right now, more artists than ever, whose music is out there but is literally just not being heard. So with this convenience that the internet brings us, there is a bit of difficulty. Now sort of on to my next thing. If you were watching the music news this past week, you may have caught a little story involving Lauren Mayberry of the Scottish synth-pop trio Churches talking about responding to some of the vile, lusty, and kind of sexist messages that are thrown the band's way on Facebook. And I'm not really sure why people engage in this behavior on a regular basis. And that's another thing. This sort of thing has been going on a while, at least from what I can tell, in the indie music community. Because before Lauren Mayberry, I can also recall Lana Del Rey, Annie Clark, Grimes, as well as Alice Glass of Crystal Castles, all attracting very vocal and sexually obsessed groups of males. And while I understand that attraction, physical attraction, is not really something that you can turn on and off, I don't really see sending explicit messages to some female musician as being a healthy way to kind of deal with these desires. Just because Lauren Mayberry is a public figure and you may find her physically attractive doesn't mean that she deserves to be viciously sexually harassed. It doesn't mean she deserves to be at the butt of your cheap thrill. Joel, I guess what I'm kind of wondering from you is if this kind of behavior just continues to go on, what do you think could happen in music in the future? Will this just be something that females are expected to deal with? And will they continue to deal with it? Or will you have people kind of saying to themselves, you know what, maybe moderate music fame isn't worth all of the perverse attention that I'm receiving? Let me know. Anthony Fantano, sexism, misogyny, harassment, forever.